The forgotten village. The old man looked at the village from the top of the hill. It was abandoned and forgotten, left to crumble and decay in the shadows of the forest. He remembered how it used to be, when the village was alive and bustling with activity. But that was a long time ago, before the curse came. He had been young then, full of hope and dreams for the future. He had grown up in the village, just like his father and his father's father before him. He had loved the village, with its winding streets and cozy cottages. He had loved the people, with their kind hearts and warm smiles. But all of that had changed one fateful day, when a stranger came to the village. The stranger was a tall, dark man with a sinister smile. He had come to the village, claiming to be a healer. He said he could cure any disease or ailment with his magic potions and spells. At first, the people were hesitant, but the stranger was persuasive. He offered his services for free, and soon people were flocking to him with their illnesses and injuries. The stranger would mix up his potions and cast his spells, and the people would feel better. But then, things started to go wrong. The stranger's potions and spells began to have strange and terrible side effects. People who had been cured of their illnesses started to act strangely, as if they were possessed. They would lash out at their loved ones, speaking in tongues and behaving erratically. The stranger had become a menace, and the people of the village knew they had to do something. They confronted him, but he laughed in their faces. He said he had cursed the village, and that they would never be rid of him. The people had no choice but to banish him from the village. But it was too late. The curse had taken hold, and the people started to change. They became violent and aggressive, attacking each other and destroying their homes. The old man had been one of the few who had managed to escape the village before it was too late. He had fled to the nearby town, where he had lived the rest of his life in fear and regret. But now, as an old man, he felt drawn back to the village. He wanted to see what had become of it, to see if there was anything left to salvage. He started down the hill, towards the village. As he got closer, he could see that the village was even more derelict than he had imagined. The buildings were crumbling, and the streets were overgrown with weeds. As he walked through the village, he heard strange noises coming from the empty houses. It sounded like footsteps, or the whispering of voices. He tried to brush it off, telling himself it was just his imagination. But then, he saw her. A young girl, with dark hair and piercing blue eyes. She was standing in the middle of the street, staring at him. The old man froze. He recognized her as the daughter of his best friend, who had been one of the first to fall under the curse. The girl started to walk towards him, her eyes fixed on his. The old man tried to turn and run, but his legs wouldn't move. He was rooted to the spot, unable to escape. As the girl got closer, he could see that her eyes were no longer human. They glowed with an otherworldly light, and he knew that she was possessed. She reached out her hand and touched his arm, and he felt a jolt of electricity shoot through his body. He could feel something inside him, something dark and malevolent, trying to take hold. The old man struggled to break free, but the girl's grip was too strong. He could feel his strength ebbing away as she drained the life force from him. As his vision started to fade, he saw something move in the shadows. It was the stranger, the man who had brought the curse to the village all those years ago. The stranger stepped out of the darkness, a wicked smile on his face. "Welcome back to the village," he said. "I see you're just in time for the festivities." The old man tried to scream, but he could no longer make a sound. He knew he was trapped, doomed to be a part of the curse that had destroyed the village. And as the stranger started to chant his dark magic, the old man felt himself slipping away, his body merging with the shadows of the forgotten village. The curse was alive and well, and the village would remain abandoned and cursed for all eternity.